Hello, you little fucks.
Tá começando mais um Café de Artista. Eu tô aqui com Adam Jabur. O Jabur vai estar participando aqui com a gente também, mas a gente perdeu a introdução, então estamos fazendo de novo. Esse aqui é um podcast especial porque a gente está fazendo todo ele em inglês com o nosso amigo Adam. Adam, please introduce yourself for our audience.
Hello. Thanks for having me. I'm Adam, live and direct from Berlin. So I work in marketing technology, primarily focused around apps. I'm a marketing technology manager for a well-known agency in Berlin. Yeah, I will shout everyone out. Customlytics is the agency. Casual name drop. Come to us for all your app marketing needs.
Nice. And that's what we are going to talk about in this podcast. We talked about a lot about NFTs and what's happening with the world.
Tax evasion.
Yeah, watch it. Thank you. Se inscreve no canal, dá like, compartilha e manda pro amiguinho. Obrigado, André.
I love the sentence.
We are.
It's true.
Yeah, we are. I think we are in a moment with cryptocurrencies and blockchain and NFTs that it's small, it's big enough to give profit, but it's still a small community that knows how to build, and it's like people like us. So it's really a not so professional environment right now.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's why people are so scared about it. But I think with time, it will come to a more professional level where if you try to launch anything just for the sake of doing it, it won't work because it's more people doing it.
Yeah.
Whatever. But in your daily basis, what you do, what companies have you worked for? What are you proud of?
What am I proud of? Not much. So I work for a company in Berlin called Customlytics. What we do is we're an agency who basically do full stack marketing for various companies working in the app field. So we don't do anything to do with web, strictly app. Work with a lot of different clients across a lot of different verticals. A lot of what I do personally is mainly focused around data point collection and leveraging data points.
Ooh, that's nice.
Basically, how to track people who don't want to be tracked, obviously with all the privacy changes in the landscape. So you're trying to hide your data from me and I'm trying to find it. Well, actually, I am finding it. I'm not even trying, I am finding it.
And you do that by volume and cross-checking information between users, or you have some tactics in app to keep track of these things that devices try to hide, but
yeah, so like a lot of in-app analytics for sure, but a lot of attribution tracking. So basically what I do is I figure out how to track users in a journey across an app and get as much data from each point of that journey as possible, which can then be used to target you in advertising.
So you basically work also as a product manager?
Something like that.
Okay,
a very similar type role. So it's I like to see
it's a growth stuff, right?
Yeah, I
User
like to see
acquisition.
myself as I like to see myself as the bridge between development and marketing. That's
so
where I
love
position
it.
myself.
So like, you take design decisions as well, or
I don't do anything with design, thank God. I'm just here to stalk users.
Oh, cool.
Which app do you usually use for tracking activity
or service?
We don't use an app. I use a lot of different tools. I'm not going to mention the names.
Sure.
If that's okay, and I'm not going to mention much in specifics about what I do.
No worries.
But
cool.
I use a lot of different tools. Some of them industry standard. Some of them
something like Mixpanel or something.
Similar.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Mixpanel is a tool I'm more than familiar with, but yeah, cool. Tools like Mixpanel and a lot of other like various similar tools.
Got it.
Well.
I had a company like Mixpanel. It was like a Mixpanel for Brazil.
Nice.
We sold. It was a software as a service.
Very good.
And I know a lot about that field, and it's fucking incredible, man.
Yeah.
Congrats for your job.
Yeah, and it's only getting more and more exciting. I feel like the more privacy changes there are, the more there is to overcome. There's more development to be done. It's with every barrier comes an opportunity.
Yeah.
How does the GDPR affect your job?
I mean, very much.
Yeah, I mean, but
all the time.
Yeah, he's right. Literally everything. I mean, especially in Europe. Like, I mean, I don't know what it's like here, but in Europe and specifically Germany, GDPR is a very big thing. In the DACH region, they're not so forthcoming with information. They're very wary with their data, so it's very difficult to navigate those waters, so to speak.
Yeah, here in Brazil we have some laws. We have the LGPD. That's right.
LGPD, which is like it's a copy.
It's pretty much the same thing.
The same, yeah.
Yeah, but it's not so well applied here in Brazil. Still.
Yeah, not as
rigid and strictly as Europe. That's for sure.
Yeah, we do love a nice strict law.
Yeah,
in Europe.
You do guys have.
Things are serious there in Europe about it, and not so serious here in Brazil.
Here in Brazil, we are more casual about things that we shouldn't be. But yeah. So that's nice, man. You are from Germany. How's life living in Berlin? You are from Berlin, right?
No, I live in Berlin. I'm not from Berlin.
No, that's right. I live in Berlin, but you are from UK.
I live in Berlin. I've been in Berlin for 4 years now. Life is good. Life is sweet. Life is trendy. Life is techno. Life is good. Life is like lots of good kebabs.
You can see the happiness in the face of the man who lives in Germany
and not in Brazil.
Yeah, that's fucking right. I mean, come on, we have a German and Brazil.
No, you have the sun. You have the sun though.
You guys don't have Bolsonaro, so you're fine.
No, I mean, you have sunshine, so like pick the worst thing. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. No, I mean it's good. It's good. Berlin's a cool city. Lots of like from a career perspective, lots of interesting things going on, technology-wise. Very big startup culture. Very big amounts of money being pumped into the city at the moment.
That's nice.
Yeah, there's a lot happening.
It's okay to speak English in German, or they have some issues of it. They do, right?
No, it's fine to speak English. No, actually, like I work primarily in English. Everyone more or less speaks English, even though they don't want to.
Yeah, okay. So you're answering my question.
So people
they are forced to.
People like me, young people, move in that have a bit of money into the area, and then we demand they speak English. Change everything. Yeah, that's pretty much what happens. No, like it's okay. I think I try to speak German very badly, but I don't think it always goes very well.
I mean, I'm not sure even if they do speak it right, because it's I don't know. Try to can you talk something in German, please?
Nein.
Du bist eine Frau. I know.
I like you, bro.
Ich habe ein ganzer Schwanz.
What does that mean?
You didn't get it.
I have a big dick.
Fuck this shit party techno hey boom 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 boom.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh man, I have a very good question that I really want to know about your work. And you mentioned before that you are at the bridge between the product and the marketing, right? So you're like the growth area of the startup, and usually in mobile apps, as you mentioned. Am I correct?
In apps.
Okay, great. And I know that a growth professional is like a mainstream for major startups in Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a mainstream. You need to have a growth person or a growth responsible. But here in Brazil, things are not like that sometimes. And I would love to know your perspective on how important your job is for the product success.
Very, Very important. No, I mean,
He wouldn't say anything else.
Yeah, no, obviously,
do you like your job?
I will
right?
elaborate. I will elaborate. Of course, I will. Elaborate, yeah.
no.
Yeah, it's important. Thank you. Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, no. It's like, I mean, there has to be someone who is able to drive a project from a product side and a marketing side, and I think that that's something that historically apps in particular haven't had in the past. Is like, how do you bridge the gap between the nerdy tech side and the people that actually need to sell it, and how do they know how to sell it based on the technology? Because you can't have people marketing something that they don't understand. And that's where people like me come in, is being able to drive the project from a development perspective, but also know how to market it correctly. And that's why I see myself as the bridge between development and marketing. Yeah.
You get user interactions, you transform it into readable data for the marketing part of the company, and then they can make some magic.
Lots of fancy dashboards.
Yeah.
yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Awesome. I love it, man.
And you do to translate things from marketing to development, like some need that may comes up, and you talk to developers too about that.
Yeah, kind of. So like what we do, I think particularly in my team, is that we will put together concepts and like integration tickets, so developers know how to actually perform the tasks correctly and work on the product correctly.
Do you have some coding background, some programming?
No. My degree's in English literature. Ask me about Jane Austen.
What the fuck is Jane Austen?
No. I don't have a traditional tech background or marketing background. I just fell into it like some years ago, and then I just kind of like have figured out what I wanted to do on the job, and then it's just like gone from there. Yeah.
And there's a lot of opportunity for people that knows what he wanna do. That's right. Like if you wanna do something and you really know it, you have the opportunity to do so. And being able to do something that seems like you really enjoy it, you really enjoy figuring out people and how they are using the apps. It's wonderful that we have this possibility right now. That for how long have you been working with it, and how has the industry changed from when you started to today?
Oh, I think that I've been involved in these type of projects since, I think it's like 7 years now. I've been doing similar jobs covering this kind of thing, and I think that the biggest change that I can think of is the adoption of new technologies and the developments on that side. So I think the way that industries have had to adapt digitally, like digital transformation is what I would call it. Like, over the past 5 years, that's been the biggest thing. Yeah.
Here in Brazil, we have a friend that has a company about the TD, transformação digital, digital transformation. It's nice. It's a hot topic. I like it.
What do they do? I don't know.
Can you talk about a little bit about what is digital transformation, and what a old company that wants to revamp their marketing setup, what they should do, what are the steps to having nothing to something, you know?
Yeah. So I think that's an interesting question. Thank you for asking me. Yeah. No, I'm kidding. It's I'm just fucking with you. Okay. So like, I think that a good example is of digital transformation is like come about as part of Corona, which is allowing people to work from home, particularly in like product fields and development fields. Super uncommon. Like 3 years ago, it just wouldn't happen. There's no way that people would let product managers with a load of money and like development teams based in Eastern Europe or India or like whatever, there's no way they would let those people work away from the office. It wouldn't happen, but now they've had to. So like that's one example. But I think on another level, it's about adopting fundamentals in like Scrum and Agile, like learning new best practices, being open to new technologies, like this kind of thing. And this is something that people have had to get used to. I think that companies that don't have direct links with product are starting to adopt as well.
But about that, I don't think it's only the company itself that has to adapt for it, but the professionals that work for that company too, because things are moving so fast that on other time you could learn COBOL and have a job for 30, 40 years. And right now, we don't know what we are going to be working for in two years ahead. I don't know what tool we are going to have.
100%. Yeah. A lot of the tools now even have like their own like testing modules. So it's kind of like you don't necessarily need testers anymore. You can all run it through the tools. Yeah. So like this is how the industry is changing, is that like a lot of things
and part of your job is to help people with these transitions. That's right, like to adapt and to be more productive in these new environments. Right.
Not so much. I would say that we influence it, but ultimately that decision comes from within the company itself. It's like because we're an agency, cool. We're not there to help with digital transformation. We're there to deliver value to a product. And if they don't have the right infrastructure in place, I would say that's not necessarily our problem. It makes it more difficult, but it's not for me to say whether they've hired the right person to do the right job, or like why they should be allowed to work from home and the others can't, or like why this team uses Scrum and why they don't. Like, I don't know. It's not my place, but I'm just there to deliver value to a product. So yeah.
Does Scrum work? Like, really, really work?
Does framework really work? The fuck you on about?
I have some. I think I had some bad managers in the past that used Scrum as excuse to fuck the project up.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I have a little bit of with it, but that's cool, man.
Yeah. No, I understand. It's not applicable to everything, is what I would argue.
And not every situation as well. Like
you can't just like start doing something like Scrum and expect things to go well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like
I think that's the point. Scrum will not solve your problem if you don't know what your problem is.
100%.
That's it.
Yeah, 100%.
Nothing will.
And that's the type of thing that we face. Is we get a lot of people that come to us who have an app, have a product, but don't really know what to do with it next. Like they have this thing, but they actually don't know what the next steps are, and that's where you have people like me and the company come in.
Because it's not only about building; it's building that stuff. It's half part of the job. 100%. Like marketing is a whole other thing, a whole other. I don't know, a whole other side of what you are doing, you know, like other vision. You can have a product and the marketing is so good that people in their minds have an image of what your product means that doesn't reflect much on it itself. Like a bad restaurant could have a good marketing and be full every hour, but it's still being bad. 100%. And you go for it, and you don't understand why it's not good, because it's so full, but it's just because the marketing is good, and that's awesome. I really think it's really hard to do. It's a really hard. It's really hard to apply and to get it right, and to get the feedback from what you are trying to apply, you know.
100%.
And I think a little bit more about Brazil, like with not so much money to test things for testing, it's a little bit harder to work with ads.
And talking about successful initiatives that have not a so good product, but a good marketing, right? So there is a code that's like build the product and the users will come. You know, so this sentence is not correct because the users will not come. You have to bring them up.
I hate that phrase so much.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, and it's totally wrong.
Yeah.
We are in the field. You are in the field for like 7 years, and you know what I'm talking about.
I do.
Lucas has been working for a lot of years, just as me, and like it doesn't work. So to build a great business, right, you have to improve the most important part for a successful business, which is the capacity for scalability, right? Scalability is the magic word for a successful business.
Yeah.
And
But not only talking about software, but the business as a whole.
no, yeah, the business as a whole. Yeah, not only software. So when you scale, of course, as a consequence, you have to scale the software. But let's use a great example of a not so good product, but a great marketing with scale initiatives. McDonald's, right? It's not the best burger in the world, right?
But it scales.
Yeah, but it scales, and it scales very well, right? And they have one of the best marketing teams here in Brazil.
I do love McDonald's, and that's right. They do have a big marketing company here in Brazil. So please, McDonald's.
No disrespect to the McFlurry.
If you wanna,
McDonald's ads.
If you wanna buy some new cameras for us, I would love it. But
Hoping for
I would love as well.
real soon on you guys.
yeah, that's my joke. Every podcast, I say that I'm broke because I'm doing a podcast, and that's true.
It's true. I've seen it.
I don't doubt it.
He lives with me, so he knows, but he has no idea. So. But man, what in your from your side, what you see as key points to a product to have success in marketing, like to have a good marketing campaign and to bring a lot of users? What you always looking for? Like the problem, the issue. Like if I came to you with a marketing campaign that is running but not working, what are the flaws you going to seek? A hard question.
That's a
good one.
It's a pretty broad question.
Yeah.
That covers a lot of different stuff. I think that.
But that's it.
That's the idea.
Okay.
It's more about
All right,
us talking than me asking questions or.
Sure. Yeah. No. Okay. So I'll answer your question and I'll ask you a question. All right. Okay. So I think like one of the things which is not done enough is asking why. Like the big question of like
talking,
like fundamentally, like why
Talk
things are
cheap.
doing what we're doing. Yeah, but it's
people
more
don't
about
do
a lot of people pumping money into areas which are not proven or undiscussed, or that they're not seeing results from, and still keep doing it anyway. I think a lot of people are always hesitant to stop, and instead they just keep going blindly ahead.
Yeah.
And then things get blamed, people get blamed, like they blame it on a campaign, like people will blame it on anything apart from the thing that they've done. So I think that the biggest thing is asking why. Like this is genuinely like a core concept for me.
But it's hard, man. It's hard to ask why. To ask why, because it's easier to assume things and to take things personally too. Like, okay, he doesn't like the app I have done or the whatever. You can take it personally and like, okay, he's saying it's look like shit. He's talking about me. Or you can ask, okay, why it looks like shit, please? And sometimes it's just the way he's talking about that small thing that's nothing. And
I also think that a lot of companies are very reluctant to blame their own product.
yeah.
It's good to stand by your product. It's good to stand by an app. It's good to stand by anything if it is good. Or the worst thing is when you get people that aren't willing to seek improvement. Mm-hmm. And it's that's when things fail. Is when you end up having to push marketing on something that maybe isn't even worth it, or maybe isn't even marketed correctly.
Yeah.
And we see this a lot with apps as well. This is a big issue.
The app do so much that you don't have anything to talk about it and how to show it to people sometimes, right?
Or apps just being broken.
Yeah.
Like lots of bugs, but not enough resource or the incorrect amount of resource allocated to fix the bugs. Like this is super common, and this is one of the issues, and this is where like people like me come in, like the agency come in. It's because people need guidance on this stuff. Sometimes it's not just a marketing issue. Sometimes it's a product issue.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's a thing. Yeah.
We have our friend here, Gabriel. He lives with us too, and he has a software, SaaS too, and he had so much issue with marketing and selling it to people, because the product is good and it works really well, but it was built from a developer perspective and not a marketing user point of view, right? And that's
customer-centric vision.
and that makes it so much harder to sell, and because it has his vision on it, but nobody really understands how it works and the fully functionality of it. And I really don't know. You think people lack knowledge to marketing software, and that's the main issue? Or
I think that I wouldn't say that it's lack knowledge to marketing software. I think it's actually getting the right software for the right job. It's not necessarily a knowledge, but it's more just people not knowing the tools they need to do the job that they actually want that fits with the KPIs. It's something, again, very common in the app industry.
And which are the main KPIs you're looking for, like the ones that cannot miss in your dashboard?
And please, what is KPI for? Who doesn't know?
Oh yeah.
Key performance indicator, KPI.
Okay.
So like I think that the main KPI for essentially every app is growing the user base at the lowest possible cost. Like this is like
that's the mission, right?
Always.
Yeah.
Always. And the other one is like increasing revenue via the app. So like this is like another one. And then I would say that unfortunately the usability aspect is always at the bottom, which is the issue. But the number one is always how to get the most amount of people using the app for the lowest possible cost. Yeah. I don't know if that's the same in Brazil or what the like I don't know in terms of scale.
I think it's an universal law. I don't know if in Brazil they look for those KPIs, but usually monthly active users.
I would love to not expend money and have users coming by, but that doesn't work. So I would love very much to pay a little bit for a lot of users. So things are
more in-app purchases, less feijoada.
And that's cool. For selling stuff in app, I don't know if you can talk about a little bit about the apps you work with or the type of them.
I can talk about the types. I won't name specifics if that's okay. But yeah, I can tell you that like I work personally with a lot of e-commerce, mobility, not so much gaming currently, but some fintech, quite a few different stuff actually. The thing is where we work and what we do, we don't have any specific business vertical. We just like the clients to have an app. That's like the only thing is like they have an app. They have an app and they want to do something with it. We don't have any niche that we align to. It's all about the company having an app that they want to grow or they want to work with, and that's where we sit.
Cool.
Because in the end of the day, as you said, your job is always the same: grabbing the users for lowest cost and making them generate more profits. Right.
100%. 100%. Yeah.
That's cool, man. That's not it. It must be very fun to work with it. I really enjoy figuring out people and why they do what they do and what could I do to make them expend more time on my video or my website. I love this micro stuff. I started doing this podcast and man, I love to see the numbers growing, and when we start running the campaign and then it suddenly stops working, I love to keep measuring these things and see what works, what don't.
Let's talk about that, man. Like, I've talked a little bit. Tell me your journey. Like, I want to know. Like, I have no idea who you guys were before today.
Sure.
So, like, you can tell me about that.
Hi, I'm Lucas. You must know that.
Hello.
I am 21 years old. I work with software development for the past 6 years, I think, professionally, since I'm 16.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically it. Now I'm working abroad. I work for a company in Europe too. Mm-hmm. So that's cool. That's nice. That's why I'm doing a podcast right now.
Perfect.
but yeah, man, it's all right. I'm doing this podcast because I really enjoy talking to people and having experiences that wouldn't be possible without this. Like, without this, we probably wouldn't even met.
We wouldn't have met, exactly.
And even if we did so, we probably wouldn't talk about the stuff we were talking.
We'd maybe have met on a Zoom call in 5 years.
Or passing by, whatever.
Maybe.
You know? Yeah. But this podcast gives me opportunity to learn with people, and that's what I'm seeking for. And that's really true. And thank you so much for being here.
You're very welcome.
Really nice,
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Do you like cats?
Love cats.
Do you have some?
Okay.
No, unfortunately.
Why?
Not. Big fan of cats, though.
If you don't like, man, you gotta leave the house. Sorry.
No. I'm a big fan of cats. I'm pushing to get one, but I'm not allowed just yet, unfortunately.
Okay. So we know why.
I'm in a relationship with a dog person.
So okay, let me tell you.
No, but dogs are cool too.
Nothing against dogs.
I don't take it from them, but
let's tell him the real story, Lucas. I have 2 cats. He got jealous, and then he got 3.
He got 3 cats.
Yeah. So now he says, "I have more cats than you every day. Every fucking day. I wake up and he says that."
My girlfriend used it to ask me to steal one of his cats to sleep with us.
And he tried.
Okay.
A couple of times.
And we started fighting. And he punched my face. I tried to. I got to the ground.
I
and
may talk something about eating your cat in a churrasco.
Cats are vicious.
Do you had some churrasco?
I have, man.
Oh,
I've had
great.
some delicious food while I'm here. Churrasco. I think that. I've pretty much anything like that. I've had to sleep for like 2 hours after. So like the churrasco. Feijoada is like no one's fucking after a feijoada.
You kind of have a hangover from these foods, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. Like but
That's
Brazil's
good,
got good food. It's got good food.
Where have you go anywhere else than Florianopolis or
Rio? Only Rio. This is my first time in Brazil, so only Rio.
I have never gone to Rio still.
You're not missing much. No, I'm kidding. It's actually very good. It's good.
I agree with you.
It's
We're
nice.
not missing much.
It's cool. It's good. It rained the whole time I was there, but I got to go record shopping, and it was fine. It was good.
I don't like it. You can go up to the north, the northwest. They have awesome beaches, and the place is beautiful. Me and my girlfriend we did a trip to Pipa, Natal, which is up north of Brazil, and man, it's a different country. It's a whole other culture, and people talk to different than they talk here, in the feeling and the sense of it. I don't know.
Looks like a different world, right?
Yeah,
and it's the same country.
People
it's crazy.
are happy with what they do, or they seem happy doing what they do. Different from bigger cities where people have the mind of grinding and
they kind of have everything, but they are not satisfied.
People over there look at a lot satisfied with their lives, and
because the rest of Brazil isn't like Florianopolis, right? It's like Florianopolis is pretty unique.
We are on the Europe from Brazil, right?
We are the bubble of the bubble of the bubble.
I read it's like the California of Brazil. That's how someone described it online.
that's pretty much it. That's a lot of it too. So yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Cool. I mean, no one's going to complain about that, right?
Oh,
Yeah, but in California you don't have churrasco, okay? Not feijoada.
No, that's true.
Yeah. So Floripa is better than
no,
California.
Floripa is better than anything else. And if you say something against it, I will kill you.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
So which one of you is going to go to jail first for tax evasion?
I'm leaving.
Okay, so we have an answer.
let's get into it. Which one of you is going to go to jail first for tax evasion?
Cut his throat. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so I don't want to go to jail right now. I am.
You wouldn't last 5 minutes with those 3 cats.
No. No fucking way. I have no. I have no good for jail. I don't know. It doesn't seem like a place that I would fit in. Nah. Yeah. So let's talk.
Yeah.
about
So there is.
Quick change of subject. Don't ask him where he hides the money. No offshore accounts.
So there is this misconception about taxes and NFTs and cryptos.
Yeah.
Like the great media sometimes tries to sell crypto and NFTs
Of course.
as a way of tax evasion. I know we were kidding, but it really tries to sell as a tax evasion strategy, and it really happens, right? But it's pretty new, so we're starting to build the building blocks for things to work properly.
Yeah.
They already work. But you gotta want to pay the taxes for it to work, you know. No one will ask you to pay. So
I think the media is always going to find something like that to say about coins or wallets or anything NFTs. Like they're always going to find a way.
Yeah.
Portray it in
No, yeah,
that
they
way.
will. And with blockchain, paying taxes will be even easier, in my humble opinion. In the future. Yeah, everything.
Yeah, everything.
It will be built in the protocol itself, and you will know where your money is going to. And
yeah, it's all public, right?
Yeah,
it's all public.
And that's why media talks shit about it, because they are scared. It's really
people are scared about what they don't know.
Yeah,
people are scared about what they don't know.
And it does promises a lot of change that will come, and people are scared of changing. That's right. But that it's not, and right now you do have to want to pay your taxes for crypto, if you know what I mean.
Pay.
You must go to the politicians and say, okay, in 5 years you are going to come for me, and I will be in Bahamas, but I don't want any issue. So take my money now. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's how it works.
Yeah. But with the future and with governments being more open to the technology and in doing their own implementations, things will come together and be much easier than they are now. They already are. It's way easier to work with crypto and to pay your taxes, because even accountants now know how to do a little bit more of it.
Yeah.
You know?
It was a hidden topic for everyone, right? Now everyone knows what it is.
It's a matter of the technology having its time to become.
It's a matter of time, because there's a lot of money in the table for the government, and they won't let it split.
100%, exactly. They have to have their piece.
No, yeah, they will fix it. I have checked a lot of ways to do it, but yeah, they will certainly fix it. But in a global way, because if I live in Brazil and I have a crypto business in Brazil, I have to pay taxes to the Brazilian government, right? But how can the Brazilian government track that that blockchain wallet made the transactions from a Brazilian? Mm-hmm. So they will have to face new challenges and new issues we didn't face before about taxes. Yeah. So I'm excited to check and to see what will happen.
But man, if you think from 2008, we didn't have Bitcoin, and from there to today, it's not a long time, and so much has been done, and so much is happening right now, and will happen that I don't think it will be more 5 to 10 years until some of it is true, and that blockchain will be a lot more integrated in our society, like the internet is.
Absolutely. Web3 is here to do that.
Absolutely.
And we are already on it, right? We have a lot of Web3 apps. You probably face some Web3 apps when doing marketing and growth stuffs. So yeah, it's already part of our lives, and it will be
part of everyone's else too. I mean, no time, honestly, comparing to anything else in history, it's scary. I understand it.
How do you think the war in Ukraine is going to affect currency and blockchain and
already affected, right?
And cryptocurrency? How do you think that's going to work? I mean, even the thing in Canada with the trucker strike, whatever that.
Yeah.
I don't know the details. I'm not from Canada, but even that with like the bank accounts freezing, like how crypto has impacted that, and how do you guys feel that the war in Ukraine?
They are using Bitcoin to have some food on the table.
Absolutely, 100%.
And that's the magic behind it. It's already happening. COVID and what has happened to the world in the past few years has shown us that we are way more mature than we think as a society. And now Ukraine, unfortunately, passing that stuff and being able to use Bitcoin as a currency to keep selling and trading goods, it's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's a good case for Bitcoin, in my opinion. It's a good thing that I mean, for the technology and for the people from there, it's great. I mean, in other situation, you want to be able to buy food because your currency doesn't have any more value.
We're I think that in these moments of crisis, we're actually seeing the real benefits of blockchain technologies, and in particular Bitcoin at the moment, in terms of like how
all the
people
promises
are getting money.
It made, now it's showing that's true.
Like, it's paying off. Like, it's going to be very hard to find negative press about people donating 30 million in Bitcoin to people in Ukraine right now. how are they going to write something negative about that? You know, now's the time. Seriously, like this is. I feel like these recent events is going to completely change people's view of digital currencies and blockchain, and in particular Bitcoin. I think they're going to find it really hard to keep writing negative.
It gives back power to the people and takes off from the governments.
Yeah.
And decentralizing the power is the best thing we can do for the people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
But
it's not just a coin.
It's not just a coin.
It's not just a coin.
But
it's not just a coin.
But it's revolutionary because it wasn't possible before Bitcoin. It was thought, but never implemented because it's so
perfect.
It's a little bit of magic. It's not perfect. It's not perfect from one side, but it works and it simply works.
Nothing's perfect. There's no perfect system. There's always going to be elites. There's always going to be people that are at the bottom. But the point is choosing which camp you want to be in. I think is like the difficult thing.
I see Bitcoin as the nature in our world. You know, the nature dictates how our world will be and how it is, right? So when we start to think about like how the human being, as we know today, came up from the evolution and all the events, all the random events, you know. So Bitcoin takes care of all the bad events that could happen with decentralization, and everything simply works. Well, there's no flaw.
What I like to say is that blockchain is an idea and Bitcoin is an implementation of that idea, and that's why it's so powerful, because you can do anything to block an idea from existing in our world. Once it's out there, you cannot take it back. So even if it was possible to remove complete out the Bitcoin from our society or whatever, people know how to solve this problem, which is centralized power in governments with blockchain.
Yeah.
So it's impossible to stop it now, and governments really have to adapt it or
100%.
die.
How do you see that that's taken place in Brazil in particular? Like a bit, like not just Bitcoin adoption, but adoption of blockchain technologies and things like that. Because this is something in Europe that is now become embraced. I would say, like we're getting a lot more access in terms of like being able to trade such coins. Like even on the most basic of trading apps now, you can now trade Bitcoin and
Nice.
other more well-known currencies. But like, is this something that's widely adopted in Brazil right now?
Here in Brazil, we have some investment companies that work with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. You can buy some funds on it, but the adoption is really slow because to be honest, Brazil is a really poor country, and that's the main reason. But now we are starting to get some NFTs projects from bigger brands, like some football teams, some soccer teams,
Football.
Yeah,
Football.
thank you. And some football teams are launching their NFTs collections, and some awareness is being spread about it. But we are early. We are really early, and it's an open market here in Brazil. To be honest, like if you do something here right now with crypto or NFTs or whatever, any software, if you put crypto on it, it will give you money back. Like that's how early we are here in Brazil. But and on your end, I talked some about cryptocurrency with some friends of mine from work from Europe. And at the start of last year, they were much skeptical about it, but now they seem way more open and way more embracive of it. Do you think COVID? I mean, you have talked, but can you talk a little bit? Why COVID? Why do you think COVID helped with the awareness and the spread and the adoption of blockchain technology, or what happened? If not so, what happened in the last year or so for so many people started changing their minds on?
I think it 100% impacted people's adoption of cryptocurrencies and blockchain technologies. Like I think without COVID, we wouldn't have seen a massive spike in people investing in such things.
But that's due to people working from home. Do you think?
I think that no, I don't think it's got anything to do with people working from home. I think it had. I think it was to do with two things. One, people being more aware, like through word of mouth.
Yeah.
And I think I personally got into investing in crypto during Corona from a friend of mine who is much more knowledgeable about it than me. And from there started doing it. And this is something that we did amongst an entire group of people. Yeah. And I think that that's something that we're starting to see more of as people having more time to look into this kind of things. And I also think that Bitcoin jumping in price massively in 2020 influenced a lot of people to get into cryptocurrency.
But yeah, you say something that's true. COVID brought to the world a lot of awareness and a lot of knowledge about where we are on the world.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, okay, I am here on my house, but I can talk to. I am working from a house now, and now I have a colleague that works from other city because he just went to visit his mom and stayed there because of COVID. So we still have the same life. So okay, I can pay attention to things that are not from my day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
and it's still I will still be able to understand it, to work with it, and it's not something that I should be afraid of. You know, I think COVID showed us as a society that we shouldn't be afraid of things that aren't on our control, and that we are in control of a lot more now.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I think that when COVID hit, and a lot of conventional stocks declined rapidly.
Yeah.
And a lot of unconventional stocks, so certain technologies and different types of coins all went up. I think people really started to pay attention, and then Bitcoin spiked. That was huge. People started taking notice, and then I think that there's always a direct correlation between people being involved in trading and the price of Bitcoin being up. So you actually see a lot more trading app installs whenever Bitcoin increases in price. So you get a lot more trading app downloads and accounts being opened when Bitcoin spikes, which is like super interesting. And then when it goes down, that number drops off. So I think that this is something, it's partly Corona, but also I think the huge Bitcoin spike was like fundamental in making people adopt and get more into cryptocurrencies during that time.
And NFTs in the last years too, I think they are a big. I cannot express how big interest for people that don't know what cryptocurrency and what the technology itself can resolve. The JPEGs do their job on onboarding people into this world. I really enjoy NFTs. To get why people pay so much money for a JPEG, and what do you think about it? What do you think about someone expending $50 million in pixelated image?
I mean, people will spend more than $50 million on a Jackson Pollock, which is just a bunch of paint splattered across a canvas.
Yeah.
People will spend ridiculous amounts of money on ridiculous pieces of art from now until the end of time, whether it's pixelated or not. So I think it's nothing more than an embodiment of people purchasing art. And if it's worth 50 million to you, then who am I to judge?
Yeah, I think it gets a lot of hate because science is blockchain is public and everyone knows what is happening. It's
of course
way easier to point fingers and to say, "Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck?" But if we were aware of what's happening in the art world and what happened under the mattress, right?
Under the mattress, under the bed.
Yeah, under the bed. Right.
Under the bed. Yeah.
We just wouldn't care too much because it seems like a lot of money, because it really is a lot of money, but for some people it's not.
It is, but
you know,
at the same time, how is it different from conventional art in the sense that the way its purchases happen, the way that it's regulated currently? I mean, even in conventional art auctions, you get a certificate of authentication. Like, it's not so dissimilar. I think that there's direct comparisons that can be drawn. I think that the one thing at the moment with NFTs is the fraud factor, which is something that I think is a little bit tricky and is yet to be completely figured out. But this is something that also happens in the art world.
Yeah.
Like, art has been a way to launder money, commit theft, and hide money for
counterfeit art.
Exactly.
Is a big marketing.
Exactly.
People pay a lot of money for a painting that does look like the original, but it's not, and sometimes they even know that it's not original
and are happy to have it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
And that's all right, man. I don't find any problems with it.
I've got 2 fake Picassos in my apartment, and I enjoy looking at them every single day.
Yeah, it's nice.
And there's nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not a
specialist. I wouldn't know if it was the real one or the fake. I don't care. It's beautiful, you know. I think it's kind of the same issue with blockchain. You can verify if what you are buying is the right thing. and you wouldn't expend money in something that's trash. That's basically it.
Of course.
But for some hundred people that is just looking into websites or navigating to social media, I think you having like using an NFT as a profile picture that you do not own, it's okay. Like it's the same thing as having the fake Picasso on your wall.
I think that I also think there's a factor of why does someone care so much about it as well. Like if I have a profile picture of if I have a profile picture of an NFT and I've not purchased that NFT, would you care?
No.
Exactly.
No. I mean, I would love it because it brings more views and people and more awareness about the NFT that I own. You know,
100%.
Like if you use my NFT in your profile, every visit that every person that goes into your profile will see my NFT, so it brings more value into it, and I will happily sell it after a couple months of people
put the price up a little bit.
Yeah, people associating my NFT with your image.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. Like it's art. Any art is subjective.
Yeah, but
that's
people don't understand that. That's it's. I really don't know if that's because we work with technology, and it seems pretty logical for us to assume that. But for people, it's really that's the point. It's really hard to understand why someone would pay the $50 million for something that they can right-click save and use it the same fucking way, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems pretty reasonable to me.
I think that, I think that the whole ideology and the view of NFTs will change within the next 2 years. I think that there'll be a bit more of a shift in people understanding. But I think at the moment...
That's a bet?
Huh?
You bet into NFTs?
Do I bet into NFTs?
Yeah.
No.
That's what... No, but do you expect them to only going up for the next 2 years?
Yeah, I think that the how can I describe? People will only want them more and more because they're popular. They have the celebrity factor, they have the coolness factor. Like people will only want what other people have, and that is if more cool, trendy, sexy people buy NFTs, then I'm gonna want an NFT.
Yeah,
that's a fact.
I want to be part of that club too. You know?
Yeah.
That's
Who doesn't want to be part of the club?
Yeah.
I mean, you can always form a club without NFTs. That's also fine, but yeah.
But NFTs are awesome, bro.
Yeah, I know.
I love them. I love their art. Thank you, Adam. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. Do you have anything else to say for the people? Some social media or some links that you want to drop?
No. Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. And I think that you can find me on LinkedIn. Just search my name. I'm the only English handsome person living in Berlin. And I work for an agency called Customalytics. So if anyone's interested, all you have to do is hit us up. We'll be there to help you out.
That's cool, man. Thanks for joining us. See ya.